Hi there. I'm Jules Polonitsky, Director of the Future of Privacy Forum, and I'm here with Andrew Cummins from SceneTap, a company that's been in the news lately, both for its exciting new product as well as some of the interesting issues that raise privacy implications. Some of you may have seen some of the stories as the product launched, and I'm going to ask Andrew to explain what it does, and we'll jump in to some of the privacy issues, because I think some of the initial attention focused on the way the company and its cameras use facial recognition technology, always a hot button in privacy circles. Turns out the company actually gave a surprising amount of thought to how it was going to use privacy by design in using facial recognition, and I think folks in the privacy community may want to understand and hear a little bit more about their thought process and how the product works. So, Andrew, so the way I understand is that if I'm going to go out one night and I want to know which bars are crowded, or what the mix of people in the bar are, or different things about the scene, yes. I can use SceneTap to check out the situation in advance. So what's the business model first? How does this work?
Okay, so SceneTap is essentially a data analytics company first and foremost, and we also integrate, and this is what the public sees, we integrate a social media component into our business model. So what we are is we are actually not a producer of facial detection technology. We are actually a consumer of this technology. Now what we do is we leverage leading edge sensors, facial detection technology, people counting technology, and wrap that around with our own proprietary technology, the code and everything else that we've built to integrate all this technology together. And what we can do is we capture information with venues that we've installed this equipment in. We collect it with privacy by design standards, and then we send snapshots of that information to the consuming public that can go on their smartphone devices, whether it's Android, iPhone, or onto our SceneTap.com website, and consume this information of aggregated, non-individualized data of who is in venues.
So I don't see any film clips of, here's what it looks like, here's the crowd, and here's the faces. I'll see what sort of I can go to a particular bar.
Exactly.
And what does that report look like?
Exactly. So that report, again, is bucketed information of how full the venue is on a percentage basis. So, for example, 70% full, and then it would tell you the basic demographic information of that venue. So you can get age.
So I want to make sure that there are plenty of ladies, or that this is not all male. I can decide where my odds are going to be better.
Exactly, and it's not about, again, trying to give people information to use this in a way to track down individuals. Again, this is just about giving people a sense and a feeling for what a place is. Let's say you're from out of town and you're not familiar with the general venues around where you are. This gives you a feel for, is this a very crowded venue? Is this not a very crowded venue? Does it cater to a little bit of an older audience, a younger audience? So I can now make better decisions on what I want to do for that evening.
So the report that consumers get is a summary report, but it's built by using facial recognition technology to get that knowledge. So what's actually captured? Do you have servers that have logs of the raw video of all the faces that the camera has captured? How does the technology actually work so we can know whether or not there are privacy concerns about what's captured and logged?
Of course. And sure, and first of all, I want to make a distinction between facial detection technology and facial recognition technology. So it's along the same spectrum of technologies, but there's a line of demarcation between recognition and detection. Detection, which is what we use, and by the way, we use the Intel AIM suite of technologies, which was designed with privacy by design principles. So all of the principles and safeguards that went into making the Intel AIM suite software is also being used by SceneTap as well. So that's automatically transferred over. Okay, now with facial detection technology, the way the software works is it understands patterns of faces. So the camera, the sensor, solely acts as an eye for the software. When the software picks up patterns of the face, eyes, jawline, for example, it takes that information, it records the information of the demographics and puts a timestamp on it, and the actual video feed and image is destroyed on the fly. So there is nothing being held on servers, on cloud.
So you're not even sent back to your servers actual actual footage of faces?
So the only footage that is seen is for our quality assurance and IT folks to have the ability to, assure that the data is being collected in an accurate way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not as if a venue operator or anyone from SceneTap or anyone in the public could just log on to SceneTap.com and see streaming images of people walking in, such as you could in other social applications that have been out.
And do you keep and have a log of all that raw video? Or
No.
is that just, how does that work?
No, so nothing is recorded, nothing is stored. Again, all of the information is logged at a data point level. So age, gender, timestamp. That's what's kept. All the facial images and the recording of the video is destroyed on the fly as that comes through the software.
How does the quality control piece then work? What's logged for the ability to do any quality control?
So what we need to do is make sure that the cameras are focused.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got all of the issues, you've got the ISO levels and all of the visibility issues with a camera, because at the end of the day you are talking about sensors that are cameras, right? So we have to have folks that can go in and set the quality for the camera so that we can assure that our data is accurate as we collect it.
And that's just done to focus, and then one moves on. You're not capturing and recording the live feed of all the data.
No, exactly. So that's seen as a stream, and then you could never go back to see what happened, let's say 10 minutes ago. So for example, if something happens in one of the venues where the SceneTap equipment is installed, and the authorities come in and say, I want to see the video from that camera right there, and that's a SceneTap camera, there would be nothing there to see.
And at the premises, this camera isn't storing it on the device either. This isn't the video feed that a security camera might set up and have, a day's worth of footage.
Exactly.
This is a camera that you provide specifically for this particular purpose.
Exactly. We are not tapping into the existing security infrastructure. This is our own infrastructure that we are placing inside the venue. So we have complete control of everything that's being done to that equipment.
And so how does the relationship with the Intel technology work? In other words, Intel and folks that are interested may want to look at this white paper that Anne Kavukian, the Privacy Commissioner of Ontario, did, where she wrote up anonymous video analytics technology and privacy, and worked with Intel, and I think goes through the interesting issues of how one might use technology like this in a way that doesn't capture personal information about users, and there's a particular focus on this Intel AIM suite system. So you guys license this particular technology and then have built it into the software of these specially designed cameras? Is that
Exactly. So we have a strategic relationship with Intel where they provide us the software, and then we put that into our proprietary system that we've built.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, we are an integrator, and we take these best-of-class technologies, bring them together, and then use them in a way that provides positive benefits for...
And it's not just you, right? Because you seem like a nice guy, but it's a new company, it's a startup. Intel has made representations about the way this technology works and the way the software is designed to not be able to identify and hold personal characteristics of users. Now, can you say more about how that actually works? Is it actually scanning my face and then it has, it's learned what faces look like? Is it capturing only points? Anything you can tell us about how that technology actually works?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works actually. So what it does is the software has been designed to recognize patterns on a face in the code. Mm-hmm. So when it comes across those patterns, again, what eye sockets would look like or what a jawline would look like, it recognizes that. Mm-hmm. Once it recognizes that pattern, it grabs that information, logs it, and that's when everything else is funneled through and destroyed on the fly, the recording of essentially your face as it came through. But as you said, the technology has been built for the purpose of protecting privacy in the way that it cannot recognize individual people.
So it doesn't really have to highly, uniquely recognize, somebody the way you might be trying to keep someone out of a casino or do a security scan. It just needs to know this person is not this other person next to them. So I have some sense as to how many people are in a crowd. Or
exactly.
It's not precise enough for actual identification technology intentionally.
Exactly, and it's not recognition technology at all. So for this to be recognition technology, and again, these are two completely separate spectrums of technology here. Recognition technology leverages lots of different resources. So first, you have to have something that would capture the face. Second of all, you would have to have a database of images to go match that face against.
So this is how many faces are in the room,
exactly.
as opposed to
what faces are in the room and who they belong to.
Ah, that's actually really, I think, important and interesting to understand. Well, anyway, hope that was an interesting look at both an interesting technology and some of the primary privacy framework around it, as well as how a novel new startup is using it to provide some information to those of you who get out and about and get to check out interesting scenes and venues. Folks might want to look at the Privacy by Design white paper. We'll post it along with this video, and check out the app. Thanks very much for coming in and talking to us.
Appreciate it.
Keep an eye on SceneTap for their next steps.